Today on Podcast Them Down, we're going to jugulate the cyberface. Podcast Them Down. Welcome to Podcast Them Down. I'm Tim Regan from U.S. power metal band Burning Shadows, Fade to Black Metallica tribute, Dual-Violin folk metal band ISENMOR, and recently vacated Graves true zombie metal. Be sure to subscribe, like, or follow. And now, on with the show.
Hey, before we get started, point of order. Shouldn't people subscribe, like, and follow? I mean...
People should do everything that boosts the algorithm's recommendation
right, so I mean...
probability.
So, when you say subscribe,
say
like...
that?
Yeah, I mean, you should do all three of these actions rather than give them a trinary choice. I mean, we wouldn't want the people out there in Metal Nation to think that it's sufficient merely to subscribe or like or follow, you know?
Well, Doug can address your concerns when he re-records the opening for me.
I will make it. This is a maximalist genre. Of course you do all three things.
Mm-hmm.
That's
like,
right.
Maybe for your favorite bluegrass podcast, you can subscribe or like or follow. But for a fucking metal podcast, I expect you to be doing all three and transcribing it yourself and printing them out at Kinko's and just leaving them on the photocopier so people read the transcript and want to be part of the action.
Yeah,
People
you're right.
still go to FedEx office, formerly Kinko's?
Yeah, they do. Every day.
Every day.
Every day. Except Sunday. That's the Lord's Day.
Oh, it's been so long since we've recorded, I forgot where all the buttons are.
There we go.
All right, so Judas Priest. They make up words. Yeah, this is the worst intro ever. But Doug pointed out to me long ago that Judas Priest, especially on the Painkiller album, would make up a lot of metal nonsense words. And I thought it would be a good idea to sit down, go through them, and define them so we could post it onto like Urban Dictionary. I don't know if we're gonna get that far because I looked up some of the words and
they're already there.
Not only are they already there, but they've been defined by idiots. So if you look up any of these words on Urban Dictionary, you know they're wrong. We have the correct definitions in this episode. The first song I wanted to talk about is Hell Patrol, which is track 2 on Painkiller. So I'm gonna throw a couple stanzas at you. Brutalize you, neutralize you, gonna go for your throat as you choke, then they'll vapor rape-eyes you.
Oh.
Terrorize you, pulverize you, gonna cut to the bone as you groan, and they'll paratomize you. I practiced that one too. Paratomize you. Paratomize you.
Atomize you.
Yeah, so, well, let's start with that one. I believe it means to turn you into a parameter.
Well, it's like some kind of, I mean, there's several. They're kind of like tying rape and sodomy into reducing you to nothing, but not just metaphorically, but actually. That's what the Hell Patrol seems to do.
Yeah, the Hell Patrol vapor rape-izing people is I mean that sounds extreme. They're going all the way until you're vapor.
They're the Hell Patrol.
So the ancient Greek word para, we all know means beside or next to, and metron is measure. So I assume that this is something so brutal that you can only be measured by the side, perhaps? Like you have no more interior substance, you're only consisted of sides, perhaps?
Well, this is after you've been pulverized.
Yeah.
Paratomized.
Your left is just a sack of skin.
Yeah, or like I imagine sort of like a jelly. So you've been pulverized into like a goopy substance. And then maybe the only way that we can measure your length is by seeing, how you spread across a slightly unlevel plane. And your parameters would be, tell you about the viscosity, density, all kinds of other features. So
you've just been destroyed from the outside and the inside.
And they need to measure how well they've destroyed you. Okay, yeah.
Right, because, this isn't a one-time thing. I mean, this is something you presumably would repeat, so you need metrics,
Well, it is a patrol, so I'm sure they're doing it a lot.
Yeah, they probably have after actions and debriefs. Like, we didn't parameterize a guy well enough,
So I guess it is organized and military in nature.
Yeah, so it's like metrics, It's like it's not just enough to brutalize someone, destroy them from the inside or the out. They actually need to see, like, well, did we do a good job? Is everyone following up on their protocols? Do we need to retrain stuff, reinforce stuff? When we're back in the briefing room.
Patrol was specifically referred to as the devil dogs. So they are military in nature.
Yeah.
That's right. I missed that line. All right. So now I want to jump ahead. So that was on 1990's Painkiller. We're going to jump ahead to 2001's Demolition, which Doug is the most well-versed. The most well-versed? The best versed? I don't know. So there seems to be two categories of making up words for Judas Priest. One is making up new actions, and the other is naming beasts or enemies. So this one falls into the latter.
And I'd say there's further two categories. There's new things Rob Halford comes up with, all starting with Desolizate on British Steel. Yep. That was the first time where he just couldn't find a word metal enough to describe the action. So I had to modify desolation into a verb. Then you get Glenn Tipton, who is the master of just stringing words together that mean less than nothing. Like, Halford can make it work. Like, All Guns Blazing, amazing song. But there's no, narrative to it. It's literally just pummeling visual images of metal things. Flame-throwing hurricane destroys the cage.
Oh, yeah, we're coming back to that one. Don't worry about
All right, good. Yeah, then Glenn Tipton, and this was his baby, this whole album. And there's 33 minutes of good music in this 78-minute album. KK was kind of cut out, it would appear, and Tipton's the primary songwriter. And as his solo stuff also exhibits, he can't do lyrics. But he's good at just stringing along. Like, what the fuck is a devil digger? I don't know.
Well, those are, so the specific song I was going to bring up is Cyberface.
Cyberface.
All right, so here's a couple verses.
Beware his megabyte.
I did, that's good, but I didn't put it in here. Because I was thinking we should do a deep dive on Demolition and Jugulator. That's foreshadowing.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that this song is clearly written in, have to look at the timeline, but this would appear to be a direct response to a good song on the first Halford solo album called Cyber World, Which
Oh,
is
interesting.
essentially the same plot, the internet attacking someone. But
Yeah, let's save that one for the demolition deep dive. So, spider-like on the web, alive and well, but you are dead, iniquitous in every way. Now he's come out to play. Cyberface, iron will, programmed to corrupt and kill. Cyberface, no escape. He is interfaced to hell. Brilliant.
Wow.
that's going to be the name of our first industrial metal album.
Interface to hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Event Horizon like imagery on the cover. Yeah.
well, I don't think we need to say anything further about Cyberface. So,
He'll
Seems
infest
amazing to
your
me.
motherboard.
we're flying through these. All right, so the Hell Patrol. I assume perhaps the Hell Patrol could be made up of Hell Riders from 2005's Angel of Retribution, which was the first album with the return of Halford. So in this one they say, "Here they come, these gods of steel, Megatron devouring what's concealed. Hell Rider breaking their will, Hell Rider in for the kill." All right, so what's your take on Megatron? Is that the same Megatron from whatever the?
Yeah, is it the Decepticon Megatron?
Is a Megatron, is that some kind of obscure scientific measurement?
Oh yeah, it's a million trons. So
Well, I mean, Metatron is, as we all know from our satanic doom metal, is another fallen angel. But I believe Megatron is only a GoBot. I mean, he turns into a gun, which is kind of cool. Something a Hell Brigade might need.
yeah, but Megatron devours things. He doesn't shoot things.
But okay, yeah, that's true. Hold on. So according to the Wikipedia here, during the Beast Wars era, Megatron was the leader of the Predacons, and he transformed into some kind of Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Cool.
So that could devour things, you know?
And there is a company, a German company named Megatron, and they specialize in displacement sensors.
Yes, because they've been so displaced. That's why they have to paratomize you.
Detroit Lions wide receiver in the league until 2015, Calvin Johnson was known as Megatron. Maybe it's a football reference.
So, are you saying that perhaps Hell Rider, and maybe even by extension the Hell Patrol, it's unclear if the Hell Rider and Hell Patrol are connected, but could they be in the Transformers universe, or are they a property of the National Football League?
Yeah, they might be in the NFL extended universe, but they could be Transformers, and if they are, that means that there's a potentiality that all of Judas Priest is a product of Hasbro.
Well, and I wouldn't dismiss this narrative out of hand, but it's pretty grown up, the Transformers universe. I mean, Michael Bay is pretty coarse, but I can't see him depicting. He probably would depict Hell Patrol on film.
Doug, you know he would predict that he would portray the Hell Patrol on film.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason is that he just listens to EDM tracks that go well with explosions. I mean, if Michael Bay opened up his musical range, I'm sure we would have multiple Hell Patrol films. We would have parameterized the movie. So it's really just his own personal failing that we have to blame for this.
By the way, what did I watch? Something I watched something shitty.
That's a shocker.
No, that I've been putting off for years. What was it? Something Marvel, something DC? Anyway, it was bad. So I followed it up with Battleship, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised. That's a pretty metal movie, too.
Yeah, we might have to start a whole like metal film club, because I agree that now that's a Peter Berg movie, not a Michael Bay movie, but still just as good. I think it's one of Alexander Skarsgård's greatest roles. In fact,
I watched Battleship on a destroyer with sailors. And,
they must have loved it.
were they quaking in their boots?
No, they spent the whole time pointing out everything that's wrong, which is I expected no less.
That's
like
not how
aliens
you
at E17. E17. It's so good.
All right.
From that. Okay, yeah.
So
but I would point out there's like a Transformers thread, maybe. You got Metal Gods. Those would be the Decepticons for sure.
Right.
Then you got the Electric Eye. Then you got the Sentinel in the metal future. Okay, the Transformers future. Then you got Blood Red Skies, which is typically interpreted to be about Terminator, but definitely could be Transformers too.
Then you got Cyberface. I mean, they're all running on software, I assume. Yeah,
the Jugulator is like a really violent. I hope we're talking about that song.
Yeah, that's coming.
So Judas Priest is the first like toy nostalgia band.
Maybe. All right. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I want a toy of. 2014's Redeemer of Souls song Dragonaut. I'm trying to figure out what a Dragonaut would be. Is it? I
don't know, but I want one.
Is it a person who travels to the dragon? So, icon to the fall of man, worship like a king, fearless as I now condemn every living thing. Father of sin, I'll drag you all in, bow down as I petrify. At no point do they actually say Dragonaut.
Well, Matt, so there's nautical, there's aeronautical.
Yeah.
I assume that not is being used in the same context. What's the root of that?
I mean, so that's like it's like nautical. It's like a sailor, right? So like the Argonauts were the sailors of the Argo. An astronaut is a sailor in the stars. So a Dragonaut is clearly someone who sails on a dragon or in a dragon.
Yeah, some kind of vessel in the form of a dragon. It's kind of like the things in John Carter of Mars.
Doug's favorite book and film.
I do like that movie, I will confess. The book, when it ends with the line about, then she laid an egg, I did like that.
Well, I mean, so I guess this is a good question. Dragonaut could be someone who travels in a dragon. Like, I was originally thinking like a dreadnought, but like a giant dragon-shaped vessel of some kind. But the more I'm thinking about it, I like this idea of a dragon rider, or whether it's a real, an actual dragon, or some kind of artificial, transformer dragon, if you will. I think
the song is definitely written from a point of view of an individual. So it's either the dragon or the rider of the dragon or the commander of the dragon. Not.
Here, I was incorrect. They do say Dragonaut in the song. There's a stanza: fire in the sky, paralyzed with fear. You know you're gonna die. Dragonaut is near.
Yeah, it sounds like a boat to me.
Now, what year did you say this song came out?
2014.
Okay, well, so from 2007 to 2008, on Japanese television, there was Doragonotsu Zarenzanasu, Dragonaut, The Resonance, an anime about these Dragonauts. They live in space, working for the International Solar System Development Agency, and they create secret weapons called dragons after finding a dragon egg under the ocean. And they pilot these dragons, thereby being Dragonauts.
Maybe the Dragonauts are fighting the Hell Patrol.
Or are utilized by the Hell Patrol.
Or are utilized by the Hell Patrol. I like that. All right.
Subjugated by.
There you go.
Oh, here's some more information. A Dragonaut is a dragon's partner who is otherwise known as a pilot or master. To successfully become a Dragonaut, one has to successfully resonate with a dragon egg. The name comes from the fusion of astronaut and dragon.
I think the song supports that.
Yeah, it doesn't not support that.
So this is anime fan music now.
This might be the most direct adaptation of anything ever. The fictional property.
All right, so the next one on my list, same album, Redeemer of Souls, 2014, Metallizer. So it's the same thing. They're ising something. Claw at flesh and bone to prevail, his honor will not fail. He will find you, goes for your throat. Mesmerize you as he is the Metallizer. Fire and brimstone fill the earth and sky, still he will defy. He will find you, goes for your throat. Memorize you, he's the Metallizer.
Mesmerize.
Goes for your throat. Memorize. Oh, is it?
You're right. Either Metal Archives is wrong, or the song does shift between mesmerize and memorize.
Yeah, the first time it says mesmerize, and later it says memorize. And I did put a note on memorize because it's like, who cares if the Metallizer memorizes you? Hey, I remember you.
Well, I mean, if the Metallizer is an individual, which I think he is, and that would be someone who turns things into metal.
Yeah, I assume so.
And if what he's transforming things into is heavy metal music, I do know that most fans of heavy metal have memorized quite a bit of stuff. So maybe this is a commentary. This is like an ironic meta commentary about the nature of heavy metal fans being fond of being mesmerized and memorized.
Perhaps I'm
and he's
going over real quick to Dark Lyrics to see if they have the same. Yeah, it says memorize you. Mesmerize first and then memorize.
So it's intentional. We have to go line by line, but yeah. So he's ruled for 1,000 years. He's thrusting from a grave of unholy worth, so he's kind of vampiric. All that evil sin buried underground, feeling safe and sound in his deadly skin. But we learn that he's fixing for a war of 100 years. That does take individual and institutional memory.
It does. He's right.
All right. Well, before you've been metallized, perhaps 2005's Angel of Retribution, you might have been demonized by the demonizer. Across the divide, the thresholds in flames, the painkiller rises again. The scream of the demon, there's evil about, they've come to possess us. Out, demons, out. So, that's where I'm confused. They're saying out, demons, out. But, the demonizer, does the demonizer remove the demons, or does he cause the demons?
Well, that's a good point. It is the demonizer, the painkiller, because the Angel of Retribution depicted on the cover is the painkiller. He's just missing his bike with razor wheels of steel.
Right.
Though, doesn't he get back on his bike in one of the songs?
I think so. It might even be in Metallizer.
If he's the demonizer, he should be turning people into demons, not... Unless he's the de-demonizer. Like, could it be another typo thing where he's actually the de-demonizer and it's just not appropriately captured?
Pull up the Painkiller lyrics. We gotta mesh these backstories. So, born to the sun, crashed to the earth, tormented, reviled, engorged hate from birth. So, where's the Painkiller? Where's he come from? He's brighter than 1,000 suns.
Well, we knew that. Well, one detail in the Painkiller lyrics I wanted to bring up was that he's faster than a laser bullet, and laser is specifically spelled with a Z. So the laser bullet is Lazer bullet. So I want to know what that's
faster than a laser. Yeah, it's like
right. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's from the Dragonaut universe.
So the Painkiller returns from Armageddon to the skies. So let's see, the Demonizer. I'm all turned around here. Wait, that's Metallizer. Where'd the Demonizer go?
Well, it's like, yeah, the Painkiller goes up and then comes crashing down, and that's where it's he's the Demonizer.
Right. Hellions the steed, blood's on the wing, claws set to slice, vengeance he'll bring. So it sounds like...
hold on one sec. You can set your claws to something?
Yeah. Well...
I mean, most claws I've seen are just usually out.
I think it means like
in.
Prepared to slice. You know?
Oh, it's like a hat, right? Like you can retract.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not like a phaser. It's like set claws to slice.
Oh, and he deploys napalm, which makes me wonder why he needs the motorcycle with the razor wheels of steel anyway.
Oh man, this is some brutal. Yeah, the critical mass and power they wield exterminate all when vermin rebel.
Don't forget the couple lines before that. Blade of the wheel cuts deep in the bone in Gideon's quest to take Satan's throne. So, they're fighting evil.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay. And so the Painkiller rises again. That's when he gets back on his bike, is how I interpret it. Across the divide, the threshold's in flames. He's crashed to the earth. There's the dragon. And the bike is a dragon. Heck, that could be the Dragonaut.
Whoa!
And the Painkiller's the rider.
Holy shit, Doug is just we have uncovered something incredible here.
That's amazing.
We may need to retitle this podcast.
Yeah, really. This is we're through the looking glass here.
Yeah. Okay, I have a demonizer theory here. All right. So it doesn't, just this concluding lyric, demonizer out demons out. And we also get the sense that they're trying to conquer hell, right? So you would be fighting demons for the sake of becoming king of demons, right? So maybe instead of transforming things into demons, we need to think about this as like an elephant gun. This is a particular weapon used to slay demons. Or action, or I don't know.
I think
mode evoked.
Because Gideon's quest to take Satan's throne, it's kind of presented metaphorically, but maybe that's actually literally what the Painkiller is doing.
Yeah, and that's what. So in this case, the Iser isn't necessarily a transformative, verb here. We're not trying to demonize people.
Not like the Metallizer.
Right. The Metallizer is clearly transforming things into metal. But the demonizer is just an implement used to pulverize. This is somewhat of like a neologism. Right? You're just like pulverizer, demonizer, so kind of making it cute. possibly for branding purposes. Maybe he wants to sell demonizers after he takes Satan's throne. Then it's the demonizer. It's marketing. It's crass capitalism here.
Well, and it could be that the powers of the painkiller are simply beyond human cognition, and this is how people interpret it.
This is kind of a footnote, but I assume the painkiller is oh man, I had phrased it perfectly in my head, now it's gone. The painkiller is self-evident that he doesn't take your pain away. He kills you in the most painful way. I figured that was obvious. But I feel like I should say it anyway.
No, it's an important thing to point out, because you could imagine, a horrible destroyer could be imagined as a painkiller in a way, because he ends your life and therefore any of the pain. But no, he is there should almost be like a hyphen there. He's or a slash. He's the pain killer. Like a hunter killer submarine. It's not killing hunters, right? It's describing two related but separate actions.
All right.
And it's a clever title in that sense, because it's a reverse in the regular use of the word.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well,
very true.
I'm going to venture to say that the next one is not in the same universe, but perhaps he is. The Jugulator, off 1997's Jugulator. Jugulator, he is near, attracted by the stench of fear, part demonic, part machine, hungry and it's time to feed. Iron claws and fangs of steel, dripping from his tasty meal. Now it's time to jugulate, feel your skull disintegrate. Jugulator, killing time now, reaches in and rips her spine out. So perhaps he is in the same universe, but, Jugulator, clearly jugulates.
Mm-hmm.
So, during which time your skull disintegrates, and it's unclear if ripping your spine out is part of the jugulation process. So, what's your take on jugulation in general?
This is Glenn Tipton's thing.
Yes. Again, this is 1997's album Jugulator. This was without the talents of Rob Halford. so yeah, this is all Tipton.
Yeah, and this, he does actually sort of describe something that's more than, you don't have any idea what a devil digger is. I think there's like two other songs on that record where it's like, you literally don't know what it's about. This is pretty clear.
Yeah,
so I actually have this listed as an actual English word, coming from the Latin jugulum to jugulare to jugulat, which was used in the early 17th century to kill someone by cutting the throat. I think this is a teaching moment.
It is. So you can see the Jugulator if you look at the album cover. So
that's the Jugulator?
That is the Jugulator.
Now, I would think someone whose job it is to rip people's throats out would focus less time on having giant shoulders with spikes on them and more maybe like scissor hands.
Well,
or
to be fair, you cannot see his hands.
That's true.
Well, here's what's the worst thing. So this is the same guy who's done all of Judas Priest's art since Ram It Down. He delivered a beautiful airbrush picture that then they butchered by zooming in on this tiny part of it, and the album cover is blurred. It's straight like someone got Photoshop. Let's show it off. But if you look at the full image, let me find that.
I found it.
And isn't it these like lakes of floss? Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa,
isn't that so much better?
It is so much better. So if you haven't found it yet, and I suppose for our listeners, It's he's rising out of perhaps a river or lake of fire. Oh man, I just lost the cover. Okay, and he's got his claws stretched out, his fingers stretched out, and yeah, he does have horns coming from his neck, I guess, and he's got very long spikes on his back. So, and of course, the Judas Priest symbol on his forehead.
That jugulator looks so much better than the cropping they did on the album. I mean, this is clearly a jugulator here.
And it's not even like it cropped would be one thing, because assuming this is a fairly substantial sized airbrushed work. But no, they do like a Gaussian blur, however you say that.
Yeah,
it looks terrible.
I'm gonna agree with that, and I think that's the first problem with the album.
I do want to point out that
look, he does have little like bladey fingers. You're exactly right, and even like this sickle-like thumb that he could very easily just grab you by the neck and without exerting even much effort at all, jugulate you.
That thumb appears to be further back on the hand. Like if it was your hand, it would be like behind your wrist.
Right, but our hands...
Perhaps that's an evolutionary advantage to help you jugulate.
Exactly. That's right. I mean, our hands are designed to like hold highball glasses, hammers to hammer in nails, adjust dials on like audio boards. But the jugulator's sole evolutionary purpose is to jugulate. So this is if anything, a beautiful testament to the strange way nature works.
All right. So next one.
If you look at the cassette actually appears to have a much fuller image of the jugulator. So maybe this is just a problem with the way CD covers were cut. So maybe we shouldn't be blaming anyone but the crass people at whatever the record company is.
Yeah, no, it's probably Glenn Tipton, honestly. I mean, I think the artist is Tipton. Mark Wilkinson, amazing heavy metal artist, never done a bad piece for the Priest, and then they just butcher that one. Now, I do want to point out the high-quality lyrics of Abductors.
Is that about the muscle? Your abductors?
Abductors.
Oh, yes. That should be a follow-up. It's about the jugulators, abductors, but no. It's about aliens.
When you go hot rocking, you need to work your abductors.
Abductors cutting you inside. Abductors drinking your mind. No one will believe you. We're chosen from few, defiled and abused by alien rituals. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled program.
All right, so I had a hard time finding the Priestisms before Painkiller. But one stuck out to me on Hellbent for Leather, 1978. They do a cover of a Fleetwood Mac song called The Green Manalishi with the Two-Pronged Crown. All right, so very short song, lyrically. Mm-hmm. But it says, I can't believe that you need my love so bad. You come sneaking around trying to drive me mad, busting in all my dreams, making me see things I don't want to see. Because you're the green Manalishi with the two-pronged crown, all night dragging us up, or you're bringing us down, just taking my love and slip away, leaving me here trying to keep from following you. So, unlike the other songs, there's actually an explanation to this one. So Peter Green from Fleetwood Mac says he wrote it during his final months with the band at a time when he was struggling with LSD and had withdrawn from other members of the band. While there are several theories about the meaning of the title Green Manalishi, Green always maintained that the song is about money as represented by the devil. Green was reportedly angered by the other band members' refusal to share their financial gains. Then, he apparently wrote it after experiencing a drug-induced dream in which he was visited by a green dog which barked at him. And clearly he wakes up and goes, well, the dog represented money. And there's a quote, "It scared me because I knew the dog had been dead a long time. It was stray and I was looking after it. But I was dead and had to fight to get back in my body, which I eventually did. When I woke up, the room was really black and I found myself writing the song." So the Green Manalishi with the two-prong crown is money. So
and that's why Fleetwood Mac's not metal. That's all. That story would have gone a lot. Wasn't very as maximalist as it could have been.
Right, but Judas Priest's version of it, I would say, is metal.
I think that's a bullshit story. Number one, he's an English person. His money isn't green.
Whoa.
Number two, his name is Green. He's a green man. His name is Peter Green. So we just have to figure out what Alicia is.
Two very interesting points. I don't have a rebuttal for either of them.
Like, I mean, he apparently died last year, so I don't want to call into question, everything about him. But I just think that's a disingenuous story about what, a Manalishi is. And I think, maybe there is a much more metal explanation. And, after leaving Fleetwood Mac, he just realized that he had to make some bullshit story up to hide the truth. Out of fear of being jugulated, perhaps.
Perhaps. All right. So I wanted to close with my favorite song with the made-up words, All Guns Blazing. One of the best songs on their best album, Painkiller, released in 1990. It includes Blastmaster wrecks the ground, bent on survival, full throttle hammers down a deadly scream, cross-cutting thunder charge, blade of destruction, flame-throwing hurricane destroys the cage. Oh, wow. All guns blazing. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, we just got content matched, I bet. With my flawless recreation. So yeah.
Sting, the strangled grip won't give no mercy.
Hey, watch it. You're gonna get pulled down from everything.
Judas Priest is gonna make all of our pennies off of us.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Blastmaster, he wrecks the ground and he's bent on survival. And then, I believe he is the source of the cross-cutting thunder charge. And he also has the blade of destruction. My question, I guess, is why do you need a blade of destruction if all your guns are blazing?
See, you found the missing link, because I've always assumed this is just a series of metal phrases. But you're right, there's a bit of a narrative. So we have the Blastmaster. He's been on survival, as expressed through full throttle hammers down and his deadly scream. He's forced into overdrive, drawn out of anger. Yeah, so all talons poison dipped. Are the talons the impaling spike, or is that something different?
Yeah, I mean, it could just be a string of metal nonsense, but it could also be a chaotic battle that's difficult to there's two-fisted dynamos eager to strike in this battle.
Yeah. So is the Blastmaster the bone-crushing alien, or is that his opponent?
That's a fantastic question.
All right, we're about to get really crazy. So,
all right.
Blast comes from the Old English blest, which comes from the Proto-Germanic blust, and that means a gust of wind, which I believe...
In Norwegian, blåst means wind, so Dimmu Borgir's second album, Stormblåst, it actually means blown. It's storm blown.
But, I mean, doesn't this go back into the flame-throwing hurricane?
Right.
And the cross-cutting thunder charge? So maybe this blade of destruction isn't a physical metal blade, but a blade of wind. A blast, if you will.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I guess because it's like is the Blastmaster fighting an angel?
Yeah, the god of salvation.
Well, I think he's the new god. Yeah, the god of salvation. I think that's something. I think that's the opponent. Sad wings that heaven sent that then are wiped out in rage.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, the two-fisted dynamo is not that of the sad wings.
Yeah, no.
So this is just we've got a bunch of whatever it is, 4 stanzas of build-up. Then there's the sad wings that heaven sent, and they're just wiped out in rage. And we've clearly established the Blastmaster's power. And all the songs are a description of that. Yeah. Full throttle hammers down.
Well, I think we've covered them all pretty well, so if we missed anything, you can at me. Write to the email the thing or Facebook the thing. Actually, no, I'm going to learn a lesson.
Do all three.
I want you to message the Facebook page and email. All right? Do both
and
of them.
And to tweet us.
Right, and leave a comment. Contact us in every way possible to let us know what we missed and what other Judas Priest-isms we should discuss. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to Podcast Them Down. You can find Burning Shadows, ISENMOR, and recently vacated Graves on Bandcamp, as well as Facebook, along with Fade to Black Metallica Tribute and Podcast Them Down itself. Until next time, keep it metal.